All right, my friend, let's get straight into it because if you've been anywhere near Cowboys Twitter or YouTube or heck, even the group chat with your boys, you've probably seen the latest hit piece on Dak Prescott. And yeah, I said hit piece because that's exactly what this Pro Football Focus ranking feels like. They dropped their latest quarterback rankings and somehow, they've got Dak sitting all the way down at 17th. 17th. You're telling me there are 16 quarterbacks in the NFL better than number 4? Come on now. And listen, I already know what's coming. The Dak haters are out in full force, doing victory laps like it's the Super Bowl. Told you he's mid, overpaid game manager. He can't win when it matters. Same tired lines, same lazy arguments. And right on cue, you've got guys like Philly 500 and even that clown over at the other desk running their mouths again like clockwork. It's become a cycle. A new ranking drops, Dak gets disrespected, and the DA noise just explodes. But here's what really gets me. While these folks are out here trashing Dak, none of them are actually willing to back up their smack talk. Take Philly 500, for example. He'll go on and on about how bad the Cowboys are, how Dak is a choker, how our O-line's washed and the front office is clueless. But then he won't even guarantee a win in Week 1. That's the part that cracks me up. You're so confident we suck, but you won't put your name on a W for your Eagles? Sounds to me like you're not as sure as you pretend to be. Let me ask you this, and I want you to be honest. If Dak really was the 17th best quarterback in the NFL, would every single sports show, podcast, YouTube channel, and troll account be dedicating entire segments just to bash him? Doesn't that tell you he's more relevant than they want to admit? Drop a comment and tell me this. Do you think Dak deserves to be ranked outside the top 10? Yes or no? And hey, if you're tired of seeing Dak drag through the mud like I am, do me a favor. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so we can hit 14,000 strong. Let's show them that Cowboys Nation isn't just watching, we're standing up for our QB. Now let's break this down a little more. Because if we're going to talk about rankings, we have to look at who's actually ahead of Dak on that list. According to PFF, guys like Kyler Murray, Geno Smith, and even Trevor Lawrence are ranked higher, and no disrespect to any of them. But based on what? Kyler hasn't even played a full season in years. Geno had one good year and suddenly he's elite? Trevor's got potential, sure, but he also just got completely outplayed by Jake Browning last season when it mattered most. So what are we doing here? This is where the bias starts to show. Dak leads the league in touchdowns last season, keeps the Cowboys in playoff contention every year, and has had to carry this team through coaching chaos, offensive line injuries, and questionable game plans. But none of that seems to matter to the critics. One playoff loss? They act like that wipes out the entire body of work. And let's not forget, while Dak's getting clowned for a rough day against the Packers, guys like Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson also came up short in big games, yet somehow they're untouchable. It's like there's a different rule book when it comes to Dak Prescott. One slip up and it's the end of the world. But if it's another quarterback, suddenly it's, oh, the defense didn't help him, or he had a bad day but he's still elite. Funny how that works, huh? But here's what the media won't admit. Dak makes the Cowboys relevant. Period. That's why they talk about him non-stop. They know that whether you love him or hate him, Dak draws attention. And if you really think about it, that might be the biggest compliment he could get. Nobody wastes time hating on a QB they don't respect deep down. So let's flip this back to you. If you had to build a team tomorrow, who are the top 5 QBs you'd take over Dak? Drop your list in the comments. I want to see if these rankings are actually holding up with real fans like you, or if it's just media nonsense. And stick with me, because up next, we're going to look at what Dak himself has done this offseason. And trust me, he's sending a message without saying a word. All right, so now let's talk about what Dak's been doing behind the scenes. Because while the media is busy tearing him down, Dak Prescott has been out there working. Quietly, but intentionally. He's not clapping back on social media. He's not running to the press with sound bites. Instead, he's focused, locked in, and letting his actions speak louder than any debate on TV ever could. Reports out of Frisco say Dak's been one of the most active veterans in early workouts. That might not sound like a big deal on the surface, but think about it. This is a quarterback heading into a contract year, with no extension in place, and he's still showing up like he's a rookie fighting for a roster spot. That tells you something about who he is. He's not pouting. He's not threatening a holdout. He's setting the tone for the entire locker room, and he's doing it with a purpose. From everything we've seen, whether it's the clips of him throwing with his receivers during private sessions or staying late after practice, Dak's on a mission. He's heard the noise. He knows people are questioning him. But instead of firing back, he's sharpening every piece of his game. Now here's the part that really matters. Dak's chemistry with his wide receivers is already looking tighter. Whether it's CeeDee Lamb or some of the new guys, there's a connection building early. That's huge for a team that needs to start fast in 2025. Remember what happened last year when timing was off early in the season? That can't happen again. And Dak's making sure of it. There's a quiet confidence in his preparation right now, like he knows the critics are watching, and he's just waiting for the chance to shut them up on the field. That kind of energy? It's contagious. And it could be exactly what the Cowboys need heading into a season full of questions. So here's what I want to know from you. Do you feel like Dak is doing enough to silence the doubters? Or do you think it'll take more than off-season work to change the narrative? Let me know in the comments. I'm really curious where you stand. And up next, we're flipping the script to look at the Cowboys' front office. Because while Dak's putting in the work, are they holding up their end of the deal? Now let's flip it around and take a good hard look at the Cowboys' front office. Because if we're going to be real about this whole situation with Dak Prescott, we've got to be honest about what Jerry Jones and the decision-makers are doing or not doing. The truth is, the silence from the Cowboys brass speaks volumes. You've got your franchise quarterback entering the final year of his deal, and instead of clarity, we're getting confusion. No extension, no statement of support, no clear direction. And for a guy who's done everything the right way, on and off the field, that sends a very strange message. And here's the part that's really frustrating. This isn't just about money. It's about leadership. It's about trust. Dak has carried this team through storms, from the aftermath of Romo to a brutal leg injury to constant coaching changes. And yet, when it comes time to reward that kind of consistency, the front office is dragging its feet. Look, I get it. Business is business. But how many times have we seen this story play out in Dallas? Waiting too long to lock up key players. Playing the contract game until it's too late or too expensive. It's a pattern. And this time, it might cost them not just a quarterback, but the locker room's belief in the organization's vision. And don't forget, while they're hesitating on Dak, they've also got big decisions looming with CeeDee Lamb and Micah Parsons. That's a lot of major talent all sitting in limbo. It makes you wonder, is this front office really planning long-term success? Or are they just winging it season by season? Here's where I want to hear from you. Do you think Jerry and Stephen Jones are playing this smart by waiting it out? Or are they mishandling a franchise quarterback who's proven he deserves clarity? Drop your answer in the comments. I know this one's going to spark some debate. And coming up next, we'll dive into what all of this means for the Cowboys' 2025 season. Is this finally the year where everything clicks, or are we headed for another round of disappointment? Let's break it down. All right, now let's look ahead. 2025 is right around the corner, and if you're like me, you're asking one big question. What kind of season are we really looking at? Because let's be honest, there's talent on this roster. You've got playmakers on both sides of the ball. The offense still has weapons. The defense, it can be downright nasty when it's locked in. But all that means nothing if the foundation is shaky. And right now, with Dak Prescott's contract in limbo, the foundation doesn't feel rock solid. The truth is, this season could go one of two ways. Either the Cowboys rally behind Dak, let him ball out with that chip on his shoulder and make a real run at a deep playoff push, or they spiral into chaos because the leadership at the top failed to set the tone early. And here's what nobody's saying out loud, but every fan is thinking it. This could be Dak's final year in Dallas. Imagine that. After all he's given to this team, after everything he's fought through, there's a real chance this front office lets him walk. Or worse, they let it drag out, and the uncertainty derails the whole season. I'm not saying it's over, I'm saying it's wide open, and that's what makes this upcoming year so intriguing. There's pressure on everybody, not just Dak, but Mike McCarthy, the Joneses, the whole locker room. No more excuses. It's time to deliver. So here's what I want to ask you. Do you believe this team, as currently built, can make a serious Super Bowl run in 2025? Or are we headed toward a total reset with a new quarterback, new coach, and another rebuild? Vote right now, yes or no, and tell me in the comments why you feel that way. I'm reading every single take, and I want to know what your gut tells you. Because one thing's for sure, the clock is ticking. And in Dallas, the pressure to win is heavier than ever.